I love horses and I love competing. The only thing that gets in the way of that sometimes is the problems in our relationship or not being able to understand why a horse is doing something. Oftentimes we'll have trouble at the jump or going into the arena, and before you try to solve it, I want to challenge you to try to figure out why that problem is happening. It's one thing to be able to understand what we want to do, it's another thing to be able to understand how we want to do it. I've devoted most of the last 10 years of my life to trying to understand horse behavior, trying to understand why horses do things, how they do things, what's going on in their mind. My goal for this masterclass is to give you some specific theories to understand, some specific exercises to do, but more than anything, I want to inspire you to think about horses a little bit differently and to empower you to deal with your unique situation as it comes up. A lot of times when we first start learning about horses and when we first start working with horses, we learn how to control horses. And communicating with horses is sort of the next level. It's where we can ask them to do something, and instead of having to physically make them do it, instead of having to pull on the rope, instead of having to pull on the reins, instead of having to use our whip, we can just ask them. You know, we don't tell them, we just ask them. I've discovered that there's something even more important than communication, and that is motivation. Motivation is why horses do things. One of the beautiful things about horses is that they're motivated by comfort, by peace, by play, by curiosity. You know, they're not as innately drawn towards praise or recognition. Learning what motivates horses is going to be part of this course. Learning, you know, how to communicate with horses is going to be part of this course. And also, I think a big part of this course is just going to be learning how to interact around with your horse in a way that is polite and friendly. A lot of times, we want our horses to be more trusting of us, or we want our horse to be more respectful to us. But we got to look at ourselves first. How can we be more respectful to our horses? How can we be more polite to our horses? And how can we invite them to really be a partner with us instead of just an animal that we control? A lot of times I get horses that come into training with me and people start to ask me, how is the training of that horse coming along? But what I want you to understand is that we have to get the horse in a frame of mind to learn before we can teach them something. There's always going to be two things that we have to look at when we're trying to understand why we're having trouble with horses. Is it communication or is it motivation? We want our horses to want to do their job. My name is Tik Maynard, and this is my masterclass.